Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I wanted to do a video on installing one of these, a radar scanner in a Hyundai Ioniq 6, because I don't see a lot of videos of people installing them in Hyundai Ioniq 6s, or they use the mirror tap method. The reason I don't want to do mirror tap is because in the future I want to get a comma AI, and I'm not sure if there's a way to mirror tap two things at the same time, or if there is, I don't know if the adapter or whatever will work with both, and if I can even fit it all inside the little like chassis thing here. So instead, how I'll be installing this is by plugging it into the cigarette lighter, as you can see down here, and then we're going to hopefully route it down, around, under here, through up the like weather sealant thing. I'll have to, I think, take this panel sort of off and route it, up through here, around, and then finally ending. I think I want the radar scanner to be right here, maybe just up here, or if I really wanted to, I could do it in the middle, but I think for now I just really want it up in the, I guess top right of where I'm driving. So to do this, there's going to be a couple things that we need. One of them is just either a pry tool, or if you have a flathead screwdriver, obviously. You will need a radar scanner. In this case, I'm using the Ioniq R7, as you can see here. This should work with any radar scanner as long as you know the connection point, although I'm pretty sure all of them have the same sort of like telephone wire port connector. And then also in this case, for some reason, Ioniq gives you a coiled cable to connect through the cigarette lighter, and obviously it's really hard to route a coiled cable around. So what I went ahead and did is I went on Amazon and I purchased this cheap straight wire cigarette to, telephone wire port. It's not focusing. There we go. And we're going to obviously be using this one because, like I mentioned, this is harder to route. The link for everything will be in the description. It's not sponsored links or anything. It's just, if you want to do this yourself in your car, then, there you go. The first thing I recommend you do is take the included micro USB cable, plug the Ioniq or whatever, radar you have into your computer, and go ahead and give it a software update. I've already done that, so I won't be worrying about that. And then also in Ioniq's case, they give you two mounting methods. One of them is just a sort of single mount method, and then the other one is it has two suction cups. So I think I'm going to play around with these for a bit, find out which one sticks better, and then that'll be the one that we use. Okay, I think I've decided on the single mount just because I like the suction of it better and stuff. But this one, as you can see, it lets you angle it in whichever way you want. It's kind of hard to do this with one hand, but you can angle it up, down, whatever. And yeah, I think it's going to go here. I think that'll look nice. At least I'll like it that way. I forgot to mention as well, before you do any of this, obviously make sure any cables and things that you're using with your radar scanner, make sure everything works. So plug everything in, make sure it turns on, maybe even drive around with it just sitting on the dash, and then return anything if it doesn't work or whatever. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure I say that because I don't want you to route wires and then find out that a wire doesn't work and then you have to take it all apart again, and that would be annoying. So one important thing I have to note is that if we do get into this pillar right here, what we will have to be careful of are the airbags. And what I think we're going to have to do is we're going to have to route the wire behind the airbag. I guess I'll see whenever I open that up. But after we get that open and we get that routed behind, it should be easy to set everything down below or in between the weather strip. And then I don't know if I can show it here. When you go below a certain amount, as you can see, we'll route the wire through here and it'll go down. Any slack that we have can sit, I guess, underneath the sort of floor here, and then it will go against up here and finally plug into the cigarette lighter you see there. Okay, so the first step we want to do for getting this pillar off is you want to pull down the weather stripping a little bit. Nothing is glued in or anything. It's all friction fit, so you can put it back easily by aligning the grooves if it'll focus. But yeah, you can put them back. I would just leave a little bit at the top, and then just whenever you want to put it back, you can just follow it along. But yeah, we need to pull this down at least to here so that we can get into this. As you can see though from the other side, you can kind of see the airbag right here in the back. And I'm pretty sure the clip is somewhere like around here. So it's going to be difficult to do. I definitely cannot do this while holding a camera. So I'll get back to you when I get that done. Okay, so I figured it out. Basically what you want to do is you want to pull back behind here and just sort of yank it until you hear the first clip come out. As you can see, there's a second clip. I'm kind of pointing it in the center of the screen. It's right there. This one to remove, you have to push in. You can kind of see there's a button there at the top, that little black square thing. There's also one on the bottom. I can't really angle it properly. If you push those both in and then you pull, that'll come out, but I'm not going to be able to get into there. So instead what we're going to do, because we have this open, we're just going to run the wire behind the airbag that you can see here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this end and I'm going to run it behind the airbag and slip it through, and then I'll show you what that looks like. I'll just have it hanging, and then we're going to run the wire whatever length. We're going to set up this part first, and then we're going to do the rest of it and, you know, wire it down there. So let me get that done. All right, and I've got it behind the airbag. And then I've also, because this is a straight wire, I've sort of run it to where the bottom part is right here because it plugs in going this way. So I made sure it's flat all the way up into here. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to run it the length of however much we need, and then we're going to tuck it in, and then we'll pull any slack down here. So let me go ahead and do that. We're going to have to also mount this where we want it. So I'm going to mount this. I'm going to basically plug it in, run it a little bit, and then we'll pull the slack. Alrighty, so what you can see I did, I went ahead and I put it where I wanted it, and then I put the little thing right here. It goes up, it goes into here and over, and then I'm going to show you what we do when we get over here. Over here, as you can see, it comes out, easy to take down if you really want to, and it comes down and goes into here. So whenever you want to update the unit in, all you got to do is unplug it, push the little button on top to eject it, and then take it out. And yeah, now let me show you what we do over here. So over here, it's a little bit harder to see, but essentially what you want to do is you get behind here, and then, sorry, I'm really cramped right now. You push it into this place above the glass. So that's what I'm doing right now, is you just push it all up inside of here, and then I'll show you. This is what it looks like. So it's going up into here. You can't even see it. It's gonna go all the way over here until we meet to here, and then we'll pull the slack down, obviously. But yeah, as you can see, we're done. I'm gonna fix this a little bit to make it a little bit nicer, and then I'll show you what to do with the weather stripping. Okay, and once you get to this part, once it's all, you know, up there and in, and as you can see, or if you can even see, I can't tell because it's too bright and I can't see my phone screen, you can't even see the wire at all. So far you can't see the wire up until right here. And I recommend you give it just a little bit of slack if you really want to. And then now that we have this part, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep running it down while putting the weather stripping back so that it stays in place. And then we're gonna stop when we get to this point right here. So go until your weather stripping gets to this point, and then I'll show you what I'm doing next. Okay, I got it all the way down to here. We're gonna do a 90-degree turn. You can tuck this in if you need to. I'm actually gonna turn the flash on now so that we can see a bit better. And then we can just run this over to here. And then in the meantime, I'm gonna put this weather stripping back. I feel like this part's a bit easy to understand. After you get it through here, just tuck it down around. I'm tucking it behind here. As you see, here's the cord. We're gonna keep tucking it down. We're gonna keep going behind this until we get to over here. And then we're gonna go up against this. Then from here, if we really need to, we can just run the wire across that. Also, this will be good to know in the future as well. If you want, you can run a wire up to here and get into, if you want to place something into above here or something, you can also run a wire that way. But yeah, we're going to run a wire, and then it's just going to go into there. But because, as you can see, I'm going to have a bit of slack, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start running it backwards now. So I'm going to plug this in, and then I'm going to run it there, and then any slack we will literally just tuck down into there. So let me show all that. Alrighty, we got this plugged in. It goes up a bit. I've been trying to, because this is a flat cable, I've been trying to get it in between this panel here. I'm still gonna try in a second, but I wanted to show. So it goes up into here, around there. You can see a bit of the cable right here. And then all of this right here, we're literally just gonna tuck under there. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get this hidden a bit more because it is weird having this bit of cable. Not that when you're sitting in a driving position, you won't see it much, especially if that's pushed more and tucked a bit better than what I'm doing here. All right, well, I, for the life of me, cannot get this wire tucked in between this little piece right here. I even tried tucking it up into here, if you can see, and that wasn't working either. So I just decided to run it through here. If the wire bothers you enough, You might be able to get it into here. I don't know. I tried my hardest and I couldn't. I even tried running it up here just to see, and it just wasn't working out. But also, if you got double-sided tape, you can just tape it there, and that's probably what I'm gonna do, and then it won't even be that seam. But as you can see, everything else is nice and tucked in. I had to hide that little wire there. Yeah, you can't even see any of the rest of the wire, except for right there, obviously, and it's hidden, goes up, around. Now all that's left is to test it out. So let's go ahead and turn the car on. All right, over on the other side right now, let's go ahead and power the car on. And then you should see in a moment, yep, there we go, unit in.
X-band, K-band, Ka-band, laser.
And there we go.
Connected.
It's on. You can see it's flashing in the video, but it's not actually flashing in person. That's just because of the FPS that I'm recording at. But yeah, that's all there is to it. And then as you can see, when I turn the car off, the thing goes to sleep as well. At least with this power cord, there's a red light on it that shows when it's on and off. So in theory, when your car is off, this shouldn't be using your 12-volt battery, so it shouldn't run that down. If someone knows differently, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this car basically, whenever the car is off, it shuts the 12-volt. Yeah, look, you can't even see unless I go like way down over here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this car shuts the 12-volt cigarette lighter off whenever the car is off. So you shouldn't have to worry about leaving this on. I think at least with this model as well, it comes with a setting that automatically turns it off after like 30 minutes of sitting at 0 miles per hour or something like that. But yeah, now all I gotta do is set my mirror back and then we'll be good to go. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, leave any comments, and I'll try to maybe help you guys out with some different stuff. Yeah, maybe in the future I'll even do a video on, if I do get a Comma AI, I'll do a setup video for that, because like I said, there's just not a lot of videos showing off different installation things for the Ioniq 6. I guess people prefer the Ioniq 5 more, but yeah, with all that out of the way, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, everybody.